So I am general manager here at Derby City Gaming. I've been general manager for a little less than a year. I moved here to Louisville from Miami in January of 2021 to be the senior director of finance here at this property. I worked for Churchill's gaming property there in Miami and came here for a promotion to lead the finance team here at DCG in 2021. As luck would have it, they've since asked me to run the place. So I've been doing that since, I guess, April of this year.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. So Derby City Gaming is a historical horse racing facility. We offer a gaming experience much like what you would see in other gaming jurisdictions across the country that do, class 3 slot machines. Our machines look and feel like those machines, but the difference is the technology behind it is reliant on a database of historical horse races and not a random chip. Like a typical a typical class 3 casino. So most of our customers can't really tell the difference or don't even care to know the difference. They're there for the experience.
And it's a wonderful facility. So we're glad it's here.
Thank you.
So what are some of the key issues you're seeing for employment in your sector?
So I have to say that there are challenges that are being faced nationally in the hospitality, sector, probably the same challenges that we face here, right? There's a whole section of that workforce that we had prior to COVID that just simply aren't there anymore, right? They're doing different things. They've become entrepreneurs. They were able to, pursue a dream doing something else, and it may have worked out for them. So those folks are now absent from the workforce. So the workforce is a little smaller than it used to be, right? Our business is hospitality, so that's the pool of people we draw on, and it is a smaller pool than it used to be.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what makes you stand out in the hospitality industry? Why would somebody come to work for you and not somewhere else?
I would have to say culture. Culture is what got me to leave my home on the warm beaches of South Florida to take a job here in Kentucky, in Louisville, Kentucky. I tell people all the time, I tell my team all the time, when I got on the plane to fly here for my interview, I was already making up my mind that I was not taking this job. I was going to be nice, just listen to what everybody had to say and, go through the motions, but I was not going to accept. My first hour here, it became abundantly clear that I was going to have to accept because it was just too much of a cultural fit for me. This is a place where people like to be, people like coming to work here. We have a good time. What we do is serious, but it's not too serious. It's not uncommon for you to hear laughter in the corridor back here, next to offices, or in the corridor back next to the kitchens. It's not uncommon to see team members who work in different functional areas sharing a meal together back of house. They never see each other while they're on their shift, but they're sharing a meal back of house, or they're enjoying the weather outside on the breaks. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Our customers, our guests, when they walk in here, the relationships that they have with our employees, it's different. Our employees get greeted with hugs from our guests, right? It's a family feel. These folks, grew up with these people. They have a shared history, shared background. So our guests, when they walk in through the doors, they are expecting to be greeted by familiar faces and friendly faces, and it's real. Sometimes we'll have a long line because the person at the front of the line is having a full-on conversation with a cashier because that's the relationship that they have. You know what I mean? So that's how we're different.
That's amazing. Congratulations on that.
And I can prove it because we've now been one of Louisville's best places to work, I think maybe 3-4 years in a row now.
Are there any underlying challenges to maintaining that culture?
Challenge, yes. It's a challenge, but it's not an insurmountable one. The challenge is making sure that your leadership team, including myself, has a finger on the pulse of what's going on at all times, right? So much so that you're able to anticipate something being an issue before it's an issue, right? Their team members have valuable insight because they live and breathe your organization. They live and breathe your tasks and duties every day. So that frontline touch point provides not only the service, but feedback. Feedback that you need to listen to, and feedback you always need to just have an awareness of. I myself, I have what I call ambassador meetings every month, where an individual is chosen from each functional department, and we all sit together, have lunch together with me, and we go around the room and they tell me first what's working well, what are we doing well, what happened that was amazing this past month, and then we go into the things that we can improve on. Sometimes there's things that I may not have been aware of, but that's my catch-all to make sure that I get information, right? I pride myself on identifying things that I call easy wins, and just jumping on those as soon as I can. So, I can't get coffee in my department because of how far it is from the coffee machine, how hard it is to put a refrigerator in there and get them a supply of Monster. You know what I mean? Or Red Bull. Sometimes that's all it takes. And it's not, something like that is not a significant expense. And even if there is an additional expense, the benefit far outweighs the cost.
I love your attitude. I wish more people had it. My next question was going to be, what advice would you give to someone growing your team? But I think the examples you just gave would be great advice.
You just have to stay close to the ground. I tell people all the time, yes, I could sit in my comfortable office, in my comfortable chair, and make these decisions. But is it really fair for me to do that when the individual who has to execute it every day, all day, may have a different opinion or may have a suggestion to how I could do it better, faster, more efficient, cheaper, or point out to me, well, yes, these customers will like it, but these customers won't. So maybe your solution needs to have 2 prongs. You know what I mean? That's something that perhaps me sitting here in this chair wouldn't be able to come up with on my own if I didn't involve or collaborate with the folks on my team who live this thing day in, day out.
Yeah.
The
front line is such an amazing source of information.
Yes, I tell people you take care of them and they'll take care of the customers. There's an old adage that the customer is always right. The customer comes first. In my mind, it's my frontline team members who come first. Because if I'm taking care of them, they're going to take care of my customers.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things we stress with our business owners, that if you're the CEO, your job is to take care of your team. Your team takes care of the customers take care of the business, business takes care of you. It's not a difficult model.
It's not. I mean, you know, and our team members are very vocal, and sometimes I enjoy that, right? The fact that they feel comfortable enough that they can, you know, stop me in the middle of in the corridor or raise their hand in a meeting and make a point, and they feel empowered enough to do so. There are times though when there are reasons behind why things are the way they are,
Right.
and I have to explain, and sometimes the explanation makes sense, and you know the concerns are addressed, and sometimes the explanations don't resonate with a frontline team
Yeah.
member, right? And you just you know those are the times where you have to trust and believe in your ability to communicate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And deliver it and package it in a way that is not varnishing the truth, but making it palatable. Packaging it in a way where it can be received and accepted for what it is, the truth.
Very cool.
Mhm.
So if you could start your journey again, obviously you've had a lot of successes and you've learned to deal with cooler weather. Is there anything that you would do differently
Personally, professionally,
professionally?
um, I would do differently. I think I would have to say I would have encouraged myself to be more patient. I I was always anxious to grow, eager to be have my career advance. And there was a time in my career when the advancements came quickly in rapid succession, and that spoiled me. So the boss I had then, I think he spoiled me because when leadership changed, I don't even know if it has to do with leadership changing, but things changed and the progression or the advancement wasn't coming as quickly. I felt like, a huge bundle of potential energy was being wasted. You know what I mean? And I made career decisions that, although I don't regret them, I learned from them. Looking back now, if I were a little bit more patient, maybe I wouldn't have had to go through all those gyrations. But at the end of the day, I think those gyrations enriched my experience. So, yeah.
It's a wise person who learns from every situation.
Yep.
So my final question for you is, where's Derby City Gaming going in the future? What can we look forward to?
Well, if you haven't heard, you must not have been paying attention, Sandy, because we are actually in the middle of a major expansion project. We're expanding our gaming floor. The expanded gaming floor opens late next month. We're adding a couple of hundred more games and an additional bar. In the next 6 months or so, we're opening the doors on a 123 room hotel right on site attached to our existing building. This hotel will have 14 corner suites and a presidential suite. We're also adding a steakhouse at the first floor of the hotel. It will be called Oliver Steakhouse. It is named after Oliver Lewis, the first man to win a Kentucky Derby 148 years ago. He's also a man of color. So we are going to be celebrating his legacy and the legacy of the Derby and horse racing all throughout this new hotel and this new dining venue here on property. In addition to that, Derby City Gaming is opening an annex property downtown, Derby City Gaming downtown, right on the corner of 4th and Market. So the old US Bank building, it's across from the convention center there. That will have 500 games and opportunities to have outdoor gaming as well for smokers. There will be a wine and charcuterie bar, a cigar bourbon bar, kind of a speakeasy feel to it, and a sports bar. We're also going to have a 1,000 square foot retail space where we intend to sell high-end Derby and Churchill memorabilia, souvenirs and stuff like that. So that annex property, because of its location, we know we're going to have to manage it and market it differently. That property will be totally geared towards tourists to downtown Louisville. You know, anyone from the 8,000 hotel rooms that are within a 15-minute drive of that property, while DCG Gaming and Hotel here on Poplar Level Road will be more targeted towards the locals that have made it so successful already. Given the fact that we're adding a hotel, I imagine our geographical reach will go a little further than it does today, but we will still, at the core of our business will be a locals joint here at Poplar Level. It is our DCG downtown property that will be mostly transient tourist destination, if you will.
I am so excited, not just
But we're not busy here at all.
But thank you for the investment in the community and the opportunities. It sounds like you're going to be adding a whole lot of employees to staff all of this, which I really hope that the culture continues to grow and that you can replicate it in the other facilities. But it's just very exciting for me as a business coach and a member of the community to hear about all that growth. So
yes, it's exciting to think about. You know, I came here thinking I was going to have a cushy little finance job and do some monthly reporting and, you know, just hang out, but it's been the opposite of that.
Well, it sounds like you are a great leader for this organization this time. So
thank you for saying that. Thank you. I have big shoes to fill, and I'm working hard to fill those shoes.
Well, I really appreciate your time today, and I'm so excited to learn about all the exciting things going on with your organization and learn your leadership perspective. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, and thank you for your time as well.